Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are back in this spot, so you know what that means. Today's video is going to be my February budget closeout, and then we're going to go ahead and set up our March budget. And I do think our March budget's going to be interesting this month. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so I went ahead last night and updated all of my February expenses and transactions. So let's go ahead and start here. We have our normal paychecks. So mine was the same, the $20.87, same for my second paycheck. And then Jacob's paychecks were actually both higher this month. So his first one was $19.60 and his second one was $2,200. So we had a pretty high income this month, which is good. And then you'll see we definitely ended up needing it, which is not fun, but it is what it is. So we both did do pretty well with our income. So now let's go ahead and switch over to bills. So our mortgage was normal. My credit card was a little bit higher this month. I don't have like a set credit card payment. I don't think. It kind of changes what amount is due each month. So that's kind of interesting. I probably should look into that, but I paid about $77 on my credit card this month. Jacob did not have a credit card bill. Electricity was close to what I estimated for. My phone was the same. This is our Verizon home internet, which we actually canceled. So we did have to pay for 2 internets this month, which was not fun. And I didn't account for it, but that's okay. The roof, we did pay this. So it says 0. And if you guys saw in my last video, I was noticing that the debts were coming out twice. So I actually put this over here. It actually came out here. So we did pay the roof. The roof is paid off, which is great. That's done. My student loans were the same. Car insurance was the same. Same situation with Jacob's phone. We just paid for it over here. And then we also got him off of his mom's phone plan and we switched him to mine. We actually did that earlier this week. So he will now be on my phone plan, which I think it's going to end up being a little bit more because they had a larger family. But it's just kind of part of being an adult. You kind of need to get on your own. But we thought that he was going to have to pay off his phone whenever he switched, but we ended up not having to do that. And I'll talk about this more in a minute, but I think we ended up deciding to not pay off his phone since it's just going to roll over onto my plan because there's no interest on it. And I think we want to try and pay off something else that has a higher interest, but we'll go there in a second. Trash was the same, and then like I said, we did get a new internet, so it's definitely more expensive, but this is fiber and it is like a night and day difference. So for me, especially since I work from home, I've been posting videos, all of that stuff, internet is really big and we live in the country, and so our options are very limited for one, and they're all more expensive. So that's what it is, but it's $30 more a month, but like I said, it is definitely worth it. And obviously I didn't account for it 2 internets this month, but that's okay. Anyways, that being said, I'm trying to see if there's anything over here worth talking about. We have our expenses, which we'll go through in a minute because as you can see, we definitely went over. Shocker. And then I think that's, yeah, distribution, because I don't usually use this category that much, and yeah, I don't use that. I do think it's interesting. So this says we estimated more, and that's because of the roof. So let's talk about expenses, guys. So if you've been following for a while, you know that our grocery bill is through the roof, and we've been trying to get that down. So what I wanted to do this month was actually break out our household expenses, and be really stringent on tracking exactly what we're spending on groceries. So that is our trips to the grocery store. That is like our coffee that we get delivered in bulk, and then because it's cheaper, as well as like energy drink or just like some random stuff like that. And then I pulled out our household items. So I made that its own separate categories for stuff like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning products, trash bags, all of that stuff. And then pets also, because I found that sometimes I was accounting for, like if we had cat litter on our grocery list, I was including that just because I wasn't catching it and I was forgetting about it. So I was super strict about that. Oh, and the same for like if I would buy myself a bottle of wine, sometimes I would forget to pull that out of there, so that was going into there as well. But tell me why we still spent $787. Like, are you kidding me? That is still just so high, and it just blows my mind. So now that I have like a true depiction of what we spend, I really think we're gonna be strict about, I don't know, I need to like crack down on. And the problem is Jacob is a cook. He likes to cook. And with that being said, he likes to cook nicer food. And I am just kind of like, I don't know, I can eat like the chill stuff. It doesn't need to be an elaborate meal with, you know, all the sides and everything. So we need to find a happy medium there. And another thing that I was wanting to do this month was try and eat through our pantry. And I don't really feel like we did that either. So I just blows my mind that this is still so much. So we're going to try again next month, but let's move on. Eat out. This is another one that just, we were doing so good the first half of the month. And then the second half of the month, I don't really know what happened. It just went downhill. I know we ended up going to breakfast at a place once. And guys, if you go eat out now, it's a minimum of like $60 at least. And that was for breakfast. Once again, like Jacob likes to eat real food. Like he wanted a sit down breakfast. I'm more of like a let's drive through Chick-fil-A. I don't really care that much. But anyways, this is just, I don't really want to harp on it too much because it's just makes me upset. It's a lot, I know. Especially when you add this two up, we're still spending over $1,000 on food for two people. Like that's the part that blows my mind. Gifts was higher. Obviously I forgot to account for Valentine's Day, and then I did overspend for Jacob's birthday, which it is what it is. I think he's worth it. It's fine. Alcohol, this was higher because we did stock up. I don't know if this is in every state, but in Texas, if you buy like I think 6 bottles of wine, you get a discount. So we did do that. And then we did have to stock up on a couple of other things, so that was a little bit higher. Toiletries was higher than what I expected. I needed like face wash, Jacob needed razor blades, and all I accounted for was the face wash. So that's why that is higher. He handed me the razor blades and deodorant, and he didn't tell me, so I didn't budget it. My spending, guys, scrapbooking is addicting. And then I only bought one book this month, which is good. Only bought one book this month, which is good. However, I did spend too much for it because I wanted the UK cover of it, which I'll talk about it in my March reset. So that'll be the next video after this. So yeah. And then scrapbooking has become quite an expensive hobby, unfortunately. Jacob's spending is under, which is good. No medical. Pets was right on track, which is good. My Honda gas was under budget, which I do think that some of that might be on Jacob's credit card, because sometimes like when he goes to scan it, it doesn't work on our debit card. So he has to use his credit card because he's like putting his PIN in. So I need to ask him about that. Suburban, we haven't been using our Suburban, so that's under. We did have to fill up his truck twice with diesel. So I'm just kind of counting those here because since we haven't been using the Suburban, we've been using his truck more. So with that being said, we're still under in this section plus the gas. So all of that's under, which is good. One thing I am noticing is I wish this would tell you if you're under or over on your spending. Does it? Oh, it does. It's just really, really small. There's like a teeny tiny little line next to the dollar sign. Okay. So that's diesel. Entertainment was fine. Tolls, I ended up going to visit my niece and nephew, and they live on the other side of Houston, so I used tolls to get there, so that's why that's higher. The house is almost $300. All right, let's talk about this. So I did budget $100, but we ended up buying blinds for our kitchen, which is what I expected this $100 to be. So that was like $109. And then on top of that, I think I told you guys, we did stain our mantle, and that ended up being a project all in itself. I thought it was going to be cheap because we already had stain, but apparently it wasn't the right type of stain. So I had to buy all this stuff for that. So that's what's counting for that. And then another thing is we took our like hood vents down to clean them that are above the stove. And when we like pulled them down and started cleaning them, they just like broke out of nowhere. So we had to buy a new like vent for our hood so we can use our oven. So that was expensive. And then we ended up having to buy a sander for the mantle, and we borrowed a friend's, and it was already kind of broken when they let us borrow it, but it just got worse. So we bought him a new one because we didn't want to give him back a broken one because that's just really rude. So that's kind of why that's higher, which that's really frustrating because I thought my little house project was going to be inexpensive and it turned out to be quite expensive. And then obviously we had the other stuff come up. So that is what it is. I could pull this out of like our house sinking funds if I really wanted to. But we had the money this month, especially since Jacob did work over. So I just kind of left it. The boot repair for the clothing ended up being way less expensive than we thought. This repair, $1.69, I think that's from, oh, Jacob had to buy some truck part and he had a gift card, so that was just the remainder of it. I did get my car registration and renewal all taken care of this month, so that's good. We'll come back to this miscellaneous, the Spotify. Jacob didn't pay his mom for that, so that's on him. And then our household items, so we had to buy quite a bit this month actually. We had to buy toilet paper, paper towels, paper plates. We needed some cleaning stuff, so that was a little bit higher this month. It should be lower next month. And then this miscellaneous, let's look over here at what that is. That was for a non-Chase ATM fee, just like random stuff, I think. Oh, here it was, tax software. Oh, so apparently now when you do your taxes, it's not free anymore, so we had to pay for that. So that's why that's a little bit higher. And I think that's it. So that being said, we have $972 left to spend this month. And like I briefly mentioned earlier, we had originally planned on paying off Jacob's phone this month with part of like the second half of our debt snowball, because our debt snowball payment's $915. So the first $500 of it went to paying off the roof, and the second half we were going to put towards Jacob's phone. But AT&T ended up not making us pay that off, and so I think we decided instead of putting it towards that, we are going to put that payment towards a higher interest. And I was also even thinking about putting it into just savings right now, because we are having to take the Suburban in. And I actually think that might be what we do is we're going to probably put, maybe we'll put $300 into savings for our Disney trip. And then we might put this remaining $672 just into Suburban savings, because we're gonna have to get that repaired this month, and I just want to make sure we have all the money for it. And then if we end up not spending all this, because we already have, I think, like $1,100 saved up, but I just don't know yet exactly how expensive it's gonna be. So we'll put that there, and then whatever we don't use, we'll add it onto our debt snowball next month to hopefully put towards paying off, one of our debts, obviously. So with that being said, we have $7 left, or $7 left to spend. So that is going to be the end of our February kind of budget closeout. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move on into March. I don't know, how do you unprotect this sheet? I don't know why these sheets came unprotected, but let's start on income. So we will have Shelby paycheck 1. Jacob paycheck 1, Shelby paycheck 2, Jacob paycheck 2. And if you guys get paid bi-weekly, this is a 3 paycheck month, which is quite exciting. So, sorry for that. That was my little air freshener I have in here. And then Jacob will get a 3rd paycheck as well. And on top of that, I get a bonus from work. It's not much, but it's a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make this here. We'll go ahead and budget this here, and then I do get a $1,000 bonus for work. So we are gonna have $11,740 to budget with this month, which is just crazy. So let's go ahead and start with all of our normal bills. So I'm gonna copy these over from here. So I'm just gonna copy this, and then we'll kind of edit it once it's in here. So this will be the same, 24.87.77. This, we're just gonna budget $75. Zero electricity, I think it's higher this month. It was $225, and I'm just going through this really quickly. Sorry. 112.24 is what my phone's gonna be. This internet is now gonna be $99.35. The roof, we're gonna be able to delete that. So let's go ahead. Also, we can delete the internets. My Sally Mae, let's go ahead and copy over these. And then I don't know yet how much Jacob's portion of the phone is gonna be, so I kind of want to estimate 100, and then that way whatever's less is good, and then the trash is not this month. So that's our bills. Now let's go ahead and move over into expenses, and we're just gonna copy these over again. And I'm gonna keep the groceries at $7.50 because I think we can do it. We need to do it. We'll put eat out at $175. Gifts. Now let me think about gifts. Who has a birthday in March? I think the only one who has a birthday in March is my niece, my brother, and my brother-in-law. And I don't think we're doing any parties this year, so I don't think we need to get any gifts. We'll budget $50 just to be safe, but I don't foresee us spending that. Alcohol, we'll do like $75. Toiletries, I shouldn't need anything, and Jacob shouldn't need anything. Do I dare put that at 0, or do I do, let's do 20 as a buffer. My spending money needs to be $50, Jacob's is $120. Medical, nothing. Let's come back to pets. Honda gas, we're just gonna keep with the $200. We're gonna put $100 here because I do think it will get fixed this month. Diesel, we'll put that at $100. So how much is that? $400 total for all 3 vehicles. And how much did we budget for all 3? $430. So we'll just keep that there. Entertainment, I don't think will be anything. That shouldn't be anything. House, let's just budget $100 because you never know. Clothing, we shouldn't need any clothes. License and taxes, we should be caught up there. Spotify, still $280. Miscellaneous shouldn't be anything. You know what? Actually, we are behind on registration, so for his trailer, so we'll go ahead and put 60 there. Repair should be nothing. And let's go back up to pets. So I do think this is going to be an expensive month for the pets because we'll start with the cats. They should be good on dry food. They should be good on, they'll need wet food, and then they'll need cat litter. So we'll say roughly $50 for the cats. Now the dogs, Buddy should be good on food. Molly will need food. And they might need some heartworm medicine. So I think we might be up to 100 now. We'll just do 50 for each. The cows are going to be what's expensive this month. So they're going to need mineral, which they lick that constantly to help keep flies down. And then it helps give them the nutrients the soil in Texas doesn't have. So that's about $120. So they're going to need that. And then they're also going to need hay, which is why I'm grateful that this is a 3 paycheck month because we're going to have to get some hay. So this is going to be roughly $250 with the mineral. And then with the hay, I think we're going to be looking at, I don't know what the price of hay is right now. I know they're getting ready to cut maybe within the next month. So I don't know if that means that the prices are going to be kind of high. I think I might estimate $100 a bale, and I think we might get 3. So I'm going to estimate 300. So what does that make this? $550? Okay. Okay. That's where we're at now. Let's see how much we have left to spend or budget. So we have $5,458 left to budget, which is just crazy. Now, I do think we decided all of my $1,000 is going to go into our Disney. So we're going to put that there. And then I also have this little like current goals here. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So I think we're also going to go ahead and put in our house account, I think we're going to go ahead and say 500. And then now let's talk about debt. So I'm debating, I really think that this might be, I don't know, I'm stuck between wanting to pay off my smaller loan and then my higher. I don't know, I think I might do, guys, I think I'm going to do my credit card. We're going to pay that off. Then we have $1,400 still left to spend. And I kind of think I want to leave that as a buffer in the account, to be quite honest. Or let's go ahead and put $700 into our lean-to savings. And then we're going to leave that $758. And when I do my little mid-month check-in, we'll kind of see where we're at and we might adjust there. But that's actually kind of exciting. I wish every month was this much money, to be quite honest. We would be debt-free in no time. Which also, I like how I'm talking about being debt-free, but then obviously all of this money is going into savings. So that's fun and fresh. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and end this video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.